When you open to this kind of energy, Esther and Jerry used to tease that they should put this on the disclaimer that you sign when you come in that says all the things that make this flow more easily. Oh, and by the way, you can't go back. You're going to tune in to who you really are, which means you're going to have to pay a little attention to staying up to speed with who you are, because you're not going to ever be able to stand not staying up to speed with who you are. Yeah. And so just be up to speed with who you are, and stop beating up on yourself and others, and stop needing the world to be different so that you can feel better, and stop needing your world to be different so that you can feel better. Just decide right now, under these conditions, I can feel good or not. That's all. Instead of saying, well, if these conditions were different, then I would feel better. That's how you introduce resistance to the equation. You can feel good. You can feel good. You can feel good. It's just a matter of directing your thought, and you're getting better and better at it. Do you know what that right there depends on? It depends on how tuned in you were when they came.
Exactly.
You got to get out ahead of it, because if you didn't get out ahead of it, when they walk in, you're going to go right where you always go. But if you're tuned in, tapped in, turned on, then they look different. They're just cute. Someone's learning to walk and they're not very good at it yet, and they just fall down. You don't say, get up, you little dummy. You just let them find their balance. They're just cute. They're just cute. They're finding their balance, and they're watching you walk. That's why they even want to walk, is because they're watching you. They watch you be happy. They watch you chill out. They watch good things come to you. They watch you be easy about things. They watch you laugh heartily. They watch you change. They watch you evolve. You don't let them hold you to the old standards that you used to be at. This is the thing that Esther's understanding. She's talking to Jerry about it all the time. Okay, Jerry, I'm going to think about this the way you're now thinking about it, and I'm not going to keep that rule that we promised we'd always keep, okay? You have to let yourself evolve. And where you're evolving to is joyful moment. And just because somebody's eating out of the dumpster doesn't mean that you shouldn't be happy about your new red car. If a desire doesn't feel good to you, then that's because you are focused sometimes on what you want and sometimes on the slowness of it or the absence of it. And so you're introducing resistance into your vibrational mix. And when you introduce resistance into your vibrational mix, I want it, but I don't have it, or I want it, but it is difficult, or I want it, but I've wanted it such a long time and it has not been coming, or I want it, but I'm not certain if I should want it, or I think I want it, but I'm not sure if I want that instead. In other words, there are things that you think that are in contradiction to your desires, and when you carve out those thought pathways, a thought pathway this way, a thought pathway that way, then you introduce unnecessary resistance and hindrance into your equation. Mostly what you do, better said, the way to describe what you are doing in better words, is that your desire is a vibrational frequency, and your beliefs about that desire are also vibrational frequencies. And if the vibrational frequency of your belief and your desire are in the same place, then there's no hindrance. The circuits are wide open. It's smooth going. Circumstances and events, cooperative components, are easily brought to you and you to them. But if you are thinking in contradiction to your own desire, which humans do a lot, because you are mostly looking at what is, as if the manifestation holds more importance than the creation that is underway. What is already manifested in your experience, and by that we mean, because you usually mean, the car that's in the garage and the people who are in your life and the way your life has already unfolded, the manifestations, the things you can see and hear and smell and taste and touch. Those manifestations, if they're pleasing to you, then you're usually not offering resistance. But if you are aware of what is and what isn't pleasing to you, well, then you introduce resistance. So vibration equals your point of attraction. And your point of attraction, meaning you offer a frequency that the law of attraction matches with cooperative components. And so if you're focused upon not enough money, then what keeps matching up with you are circumstances and events that match that. If you feel prosperous, if you can isolate one area of your life where you feel particularly prosperous, where you feel particularly blessed, and you focus upon that subject that causes you to feel that way, then the thought, with the feeling indicating it, means that you're in a place of letting in what you're asking for. But if you don't feel blessed, if you're finding that reason to complain or that reason to argue for your limitations, then those thoughts, those practice thoughts, those thoughts that often you continue to think, those thoughts that because you continue to think them, we call them beliefs, those beliefs hold you in a holding pattern of resistance, so that even though you're asking, you're resisting, and you're asking and you're resisting. And that sort of push and pull causes tension and stress within you. What we're really getting at with this very brief segment that we want to present in a way that you can really hear it and feel it, what we're really getting at is that what is your biggest hindrance to what is becoming. Because sometimes what is contains things you don't want to continue, and sometimes what is missing things you do want. So if you are mostly doing what most of you mostly do, which is offer most of your vibration in response to what you are observing, then you are introducing unnecessary resistance into the equation. And as we are visiting here today, you can sort some of that out. We know you'll find some clarity about it. Do you believe that you are the creator of your own reality? Yes. Do you believe that therefore you are the attractor of it? Yes. And so as you are a vibrational offerer and therefore a vibrational asker and then a vibrational getter, don't you want to make the things you want able to find you more easily? Don't you want to light up about that rather than about the opposite? Which makes us want to ask you another question. What influence are you under? Are you under the influence of your inner being? Because if you are, then you want to feel good and mostly do, and therefore are in the place of opening thought pathways to what you want. But if you're under the influence of what is, of how it is, of something that's bothering you, then we get it. It feels logical that you ought to be able to point out that something is really screwy about that. And you certainly can. Just don't make it your life pattern. Point it out and then take the bounce, because when you know what you don't want, you know what you do want. So you could very well say, I don't want that. I sure don't want that. I really, really don't like that. That is disgusting to me in all of these ways. I don't want that. Throw a fit, but don't let it last too long.